Hello, you're listening to Dead End Road TV. This is the Dead End Road Show. I am Bill. Joining me, as always, is Roger.
How's it going?
It has once again been probably too long because of, circumstance. Who cares anymore? It's 2020. Everything's screwed.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just nonsense. That's all I gotta say for anything this whole year.
yeah,
And then you guys also know what else is going down. So the hectic craziness with all that.
yeah. I don't really want to talk about it, but like we're recording this on the Thursday after what should have been election day, but of course that's not how things are going. So who knows? Maybe by the time this is out, we'll have a president or not. I don't know. But then like
Right.
the previous episode, which we recorded in, I think it was July. Was it July?
Ugh.
I think it was.
I thought we did. Oh crap! You're right. I thought we did one in August.
I think it was July.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Right.
Let's just go with July. So I have that one, as of this recording, I have that one half edited, and I just need to finish that and just put the damn thing out. And by the time it goes out, it'll be so dated that everything is just a time warp of, nothing. The references will make no sense. Nothing's going to make any sense. But anyway, here we are. We're finally recording something. Feeling fine about life in general. And you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of time warps, this is going to be a great segue. It's 2006 again. There's Borat's back.
Right.
Dexter's back for some reason.
It's because they want to fix that awful ending.
Sure, yeah. I mean, just like talk about twisting the knife. Just
Right.
just
Nice.
like Showtime. This was like 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
They released a little teaser on Twitter, just like, yeah, Dexter, next year, man,
Coming back.
coming back. And
like, I'm like a little bit excited, but I'm just like, please don't screw the pooch again. That's all I ask. Because like I looked into it, and it's supposed to be kind of like a soft reboot. You know what I mean? It's like it's only one season. It's not multiple seasons. Apparently, it's just gonna be one season, and I'm thinking it's just literally just trying to fix the last season.
yeah, but the problem is that it's Showtime, and like they have a problem with letting things go and just letting things die. Like obviously Dexter, but then I didn't watch the show, but I hear that was the problem with Shameless. Like they just wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop it. Like they just kept making more of it.
Oh yeah, it's still just going on right now, and it's just like, what else can you do?
Is it still going?
It is still going on. Don't get me wrong. It's like a background noise for me at this point. Like when I
Right.
watch it, like because I watch it, like don't because I'm a person who just enjoys watching stuff. That is like what I do. Like people enjoy games. Like I like
Sure,
games,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm more of a person. I enjoy watching shows, and like
Yeah.
that's what I do. And it's like I've watched it, and it's like, but Shameless kind of gets meh more and more every season.
Yeah, that's
So
what I hear about it.
So I get what you're saying about Showtime. Just won't let it die.
Yeah, so I worry that they're like, oh yeah, no, this is just a mini series. This is, if we're bringing it back, it's only these 10 episodes or whatever. It's like I don't,
Yeah,
I don't trust
we'll,
like that.
we'll see what you do, Showtime.
Yeah,
I'm just happy they're not like replacing the actors. Well, I hope they bring back all the actors. I'm just happy Dexter's still just Dexter.
Well, I mean, yeah, they couldn't. They even said like you couldn't do it without Michael C. Hall.
See, I don't even know his name. I just know him as Dexter. Every time I see him on anything else, I'm like, oh, that's Dexter. That's just how I interpret it.
Have you seen
now.
6 Feet Under?
No, but I've heard about it. But
It's funny, like, because I watched that after Dexter. And like he's like so good in that I can actually separate him.
really,
Like I don't see him as Dexter in that.
okay, I'll have to check it out then.
That's a fantastic show, but like
Is it
yeah,
on
like
Netflix?
I don't even know where that because it was HBO.
Uh huh.
Um, but it was like it's an older one, so it like might be like on Amazon or something.
I mean,
Um,
I got the HBO streaming service finally, just so I can watch
then
shows. So,
it's probably on there then. Um, but yeah, because it was older, it was like early 2000s. But yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's such a different character
Uh
that
huh.
you could actually separate. At least for me, I could separate it.
Uh huh. No,
Um,
I get that because I don't like typecasting characters, well actors,
yeah.
but sometimes it's so hard because they play the role so well,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's just hard to look at them like, no, what are you doing? That's not what you're gonna do. That's what you shouldn't do.
Right. But like who's even left of the rest of the damn cast?
That's alive.
Yeah.
Batista. I really like Batista and Masoka. They
Were
were
they alive at the end?
yeah, they were alive at the end because they're like, oh my god, like because they were looking for like, I guess the Bay Harbor Butcher or something. I forget because I refused to watch the last season.
Oh right,
I mean,
Batista was like close, I guess, to getting him.
like, and it's like because I started rewatching the series. I'm currently on my favorite season, fifth season. I'm debating on like, I'm like, maybe I'll just stop after like the fifth or sixth season, but it's just like, do I just bite the bullet and watch 7 and 8? It's like
It's so rough though.
I'll give 7 this. 7's not as nowhere as bad as the last one because 7 has like it's like it deals with the kind of like the mafia or something. It's not the mafia, but it's like Russian mafia or whatever. And the guy, he was an interesting bad guy, like because he was going back and forth with Dexter. I'll give him that. He was interesting with that. And then the whole
Was that the Lumen season?
no, Lumen's fifth season.
Okay.
Lumen's fifth season, 6 seasons, the Doomsday Killer, 7 seasons.
Oh, that was
like,
that shit was. Oh my god, that was so bad.
Doomsday Killer had such a good beginning,
It did.
and then it just shot the bed at the end. It just like like the first like 6 episodes were great because it was like Dexter was like kind of like figuring himself out, and it was like he had I forget the the one guy like who owned I think not a junkyard, but it was like a car repair shop, and he was trying to get Dexter to see God and all that type of stuff, and he was getting like because Dexter was going to kill him, but then
Oh yeah, who was the actor?
I don't remember, but I know him. I've seen him in plenty of movies, but
I know at the time I didn't know him, and now he's like the dude, right?
mm-hmm. It's like, but it was like I remember he was like getting into Dexter, like helping him feel better. Then he got killed by someone he was trying to help. So it's like Dexter, like, no, like it's like that's like 6th season was good until like the halfway point. 7th season was interesting. Just because Dexter had a challenge, like a legit challenge, if someone's like, I'm hunting you now, like, you know what I mean? Where everyone else, normally Dexter's just hunting them. But this guy was hunting Dexter, figured out who Dexter was, figured out where his boat was and everything.
Who was that?
The 7th season. It was like the one hit of the Russian, like, he wasn't the boss, but he was like a general or whatever in their organization, like of the whatever type of gangster group they were. It was like a bunch of Russians, and like Quinn was in love with the one stripper. But then we also found out the one, his Masoka's apprentice was obsessed with serial killers, and then Dexter, like he showed Dexter his game, and Dexter was like, "Why are you fucking making this game? This is terrible." Because it was like a game about being the serial killer and killing people and trying to get away with it. And then he got mad at Dexter and then was going to try and frame Dexter for something.
Right. And wasn't the mob like funding the game or something weird?
No.
Or he had ties to the mob?
No, the mob was because they killed that guy. They ended up killing him because they went to the boat and they're like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm not Dexter. I'm just doing something." And then they shot him. But they were
Man,
funding
I don't remember that shit at all.
They were funding the strip club basically where the girl Quinn was in love with worked at.
Yeah.
And they yeah, and then I remember the Russian. They also killed that one detective who was there for like fucking one season, and then they killed him off the very next season. Even though he was an interesting character, you know what I mean? He was an interesting character to bring into the 6th season.
I couldn't even. Was 7 also like when Deb finds out?
She found out in 6. 7's when LaGuerta gets killed by Deb.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, then she becomes an addict and really loses it because she was losing it in the 7th season.
Yeah.
But she really lost it once she killed LaGuerta.
And because what's his face was in love with a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, I remember that stuff. I don't remember the mob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just like they were because they were mad one of their people were killed, so they're trying to get back at whoever killed their person, and that's obviously Dexter. Dexter killed him.
Right.
But like, yeah, I'm debating on watching those seasons. I'm like, okay, 6, maybe I'll struggle through it. 7 was kind of interesting, but 8, I really don't want to because it's like, it was very bad. There wasn't a really good. There wasn't a really interesting serial killer. The ending sucked, and it was just a boring season. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like every season had an interesting like antagonist for Dexter. Like, first season had his brother. Second season kind of was just Dexter, but it was just like, well, I guess what was her name? Black hair. Lila. I'm not gonna lie, I had a crush on Lila the first time.
Oh man, how could you not? How could you not?
She was beautiful, but she was like, but also like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like a bad girl but attractive, and you're just like, I know she's not good, but
yeah,
she's an attractive woman. I liked her.
Pardon my tits.
Right, right.
How could you forget?
Exactly. It's like
I was like what? I was like 14. Oh, come on.
Yeah, right. It's like, but it's funny. Anytime like you bring it up to like a girl who watches, like, I hate Lila. Like,
oh yeah. Oh, completely. Completely.
All women
every time.
All women hate Lila, but all guys love Lila.
Yep. And
then it sucks.
That was exactly how it went.
Right, and then it sucks. Dokes died. I like Dokes, but I'm like, they're right. How can you incorporate Dokes into the next season? So it's like, it's understandable that he had to get killed, but at least he got a meme out of it. Out of his role of his 2 seasons, he got a very popular meme.
Yeah,
the surprise motherfucker, and it just
iconic.
Right, and then 3rd season was it was the DA. It sucks. I literally should remember their names, but I'm terrible with names. Like,
oh, I'm even worse.
It's like, I'm a face person, but I'm terrible with names.
Right.
It was the one DA guy, the Hispanic guy, who like Dexter was teaching.
Oh, what's his face from Sons of Anarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget his name.
If you watch the series, you know who we're talking about. Like, where he tricked Dexter. It was like, oh, I gave you my blood, but he's lying to Dexter the whole time.
Yeah.
And then the boring serial killer, the Skinner, but he wasn't even really the main antagonist. He was just someone to have a serial killer as part of the role. 4th season, obviously the
Trinity. That's the top for me.
And it's everyone's favorite. It's not mine. It's like, it kind of. I'm trying to think where I'd rank it. I'd probably put it as my 3rd favorite season.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's like, it was interesting, and the ending was like surprising, but it just wasn't my favorite. 5th season is my favorite. I love Lumen. I like Lumen way more than Rita. Rita pissed me off too many times throughout the seasons when she was alive. She was very critical to me.
I mean, that was kind of her role, though.
I get it. She just drove me nuts. I'm like, shut up, Rita. Let Dexter just be Dex.
That was the thing. She was challenging him in that way, you know.
And I hate that in the 3rd season we never found out like anything about her first marriage. Like, even though Dexter asked her about it, and he found out about it, but she never brought it up. Like, I'm like, why do you tell us this and then not do anything to resolve that? That like Dexter's her 3rd marriage. And then obviously 5th season's Lumen, and then like with the Jordan Chase and his friends. That's what I liked about it. It was like there was 5 people, and they were all like, it had a good story. Even though I was like, just curiosity. I'm like, I wanted to see how people ranked it. People ranked it like the 3rd worst season. I'm like,
it can't be with 6, 7, 8. It can't be.
Yeah, no, people said seventh season was better than it. I'm like, obviously eighth season was like the worst. I'm trying to think what was the next worst season
6.
they had. Yeah, they said 6. It was like
It has to be
the
6.
last season 6, then it was the 5th season. I'm like, what? This is some bull crap. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why people didn't like the. I mean, I think it was because they're like, because you're getting off from the 4th season, so it's like the first season right after all that craziness, and I guess it wasn't enough for people. But I'm like,
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm like, Dexter was healing, and like killing wasn't really doing anything to help him, and then he found this woman in a crazy situation while trying to kill someone. And he's like, I'm gonna help you find your rapists and stuff, like, and the people who had murdered you. And it was interesting finding all of them, and then like he almost got caught by his sister in that season at the end.
Yeah, like both the show and Dexter developed a savior complex, especially in that season.
Mm-hmm. And then you gotta remember Quinn and the one detective, the one like crooked cop, almost figured out who Dexter was.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he almost got caught.
Yeah.
And then like 6th season we got the Doomsday Killer. 7th season like
Doomsday.
Russian
The Doomsday was like so bad because there were so many like inconsistencies that they just friggin' ignored. Like the fact that that dude was like a hallucination or a ghost or whatever, but he talked to other people other than that guy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
what?
I feel like it would have been better if he was not a hallucination, if he was real.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Especially because the show already has the thing where Dexter talks to his dad.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that was supposed to be the twist. It's like don't even bother with it.
I feel like it would have been better if he was alive and then like the main serial killer for the 6th season turned on him. Like, you know what I mean? He killed him.
Yeah. Or like if he was alive, but like that dude, like that was his hallucinations of him.
Mm-hmm. True.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was.
They messed up on the 6th season. 7th season. Okay, I do remember they did introduce that one, the one girl, the serial killer, the poisoner, like the woman who like Dexter fell for also.
Oh, Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dexter can pick them.
Yeah, the blondes, man.
Yeah, he loves those blondes.
Yeah.
Because then he sent her away, but then she comes back in the 8th season.
Doesn't he send the kids with her or something stupid?
In the 8th season, he gives the kid to her. Yeah, he gives Harrison to her.
What happened to the other kids? I forgot.
They went with their grandparents. Which was sad. I hated that. I was like, but I'm like, how are you going to have Dexter killing people if he has to worry about 3 kids? Especially one's about to be a teenager. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you can't be killing with like 3 kids. At least with a baby, you can get away with that stuff. With kids, it's a lot harder. Because like you sneaking in and out of the house and all that type of stuff, they'll realize what's going on eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what would even be a compelling story to like bring him. It's like, oh, now Dexter's got to come back. He's killing again. Like, what is it? I don't know. I think a more interesting story wouldn't. If they do a big bad, it's gonna be. I kind of wish they like don't.
Yeah, it's like, all right, if it's a whole new thing, like where it's not a continuation, I don't know where they're gonna do it. If they're just erase the last season and just do something more interesting than what you gave us, and maybe
just act like it never happened.
Would you kill Dexter? Would people be okay with Dexter dying?
Yeah, because that's what they almost did.
Yeah, with the storm.
Whenever he's off on the boat driving into the hurricane, I'm like, okay, this is pretty friggin' lame, but it's like I can accept it.
Yeah,
like that's like that. That was like that. I probably said that out loud, like as it was happening.
He took his dead sister with him and was like, "I'm gonna die with you."
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. It's like it's poetic. That's where he dumped all those bodies. And that's where he's going to take his sister, and that's where he's going to take himself. You know?
Which season was
it's like,
it?
Fine.
What season made it fucking weird, like, whenever they made Deb, like, have a crush on Dexter?
That was 7.
Was it 7?
Right?
Like, I hated that. I'm like, what the fuck?
They were, like, in a relationship. It was like all screwed up.
I'm like, why are you? Because because she was having those fantasies about him, and it's like, no, why? Like you just made it weird. Like, no, just have her, just love her brother. She does not have to have a crush on her brother.
Or no, wait, it was the season. It was the season she finds out.
6th season?
I guess, and then like her finding out like kind of kills the vibe. I guess.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't think I can like you because you are
a serial killer. Yeah.
And I've dealt with that before. It's like I like Dad, but she also annoyed the crap out of me at times. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, God damn it, Dad. Just chill. Oh, yeah, because I remember she stopped being a detective in the last season because she killed LaGuerta.
Yeah.
And she became like a private investigator, I think.
That sounds right.
Which is just interesting because, like, I didn't know you. Well, no, you don't. I guess you don't even have to go to college to become a cop. So, yeah, never mind. Like, I know you don't have to college. You don't have to go to college to become either one, a private investigator or a cop.
It's usually just PIs or like former cops.
Mm-hmm. Or
Stuff
they're just
like that.
randos who just know how to solve stuff. Like, you gotta get a certification or something like that.
Yeah, you usually need a license.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's the god awful 8th season. Where there was the boy, and then there was the therapist that came out of nowhere. Her son was a killer, and then he killed Dad, which was lame. I feel like it'd have been more interesting if Dexter died and Deb lived.
Yeah.
Because at least she would have got that piece. I mean, she would be hurt too because she loves her brother, but
yeah, that was so dumb.
Yeah, I don't get it. And then the lumberjack shit.
It feels like they did that just so they could do a reboot or a continuation later on. That's like what everybody said. It's like they didn't want to let go of the character.
Because what year was that?
And here we are. That was like what, 2013, 2012?
You're right. I think it was 2012. So like doing what everyone did. We're gonna wait like 8 years, and when everyone's rebooting shit, we're rebooting ourselves.
Yeah, like who is asking, aside from people that think the ending sucks, and which is a lot of people, but like I'm of the mind just like leave it dead. You screwed up.
Mm-hmm. Just accept your L.
Yeah, take it. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it might be interesting if Dexter encountered another killer, but who was just like him, but it was like they killed bad people also.
Didn't they? They kind of did that.
With who?
With the attorney guy. That's the ruse he gave.
Well, but I mean, like someone legit, just like that. It's like they're going after Dexter because he's a killer, but then Dexter's like, I gotta go after you because you're a killer.
I'm trying to think. Maybe that was in one of the books then. I'm getting my wires crossed.
Because the guy in the 3rd season, he was like, oh, I want to kill bad people, but he didn't really care. He just wanted to kind of kill people because like,
yeah,
he killed the one DA who was against him, and then he was going to kill LaGuerta. Like you said, I need to read those books because you said they're kind of different than the show.
Oh, they're a lot different. The first one and the first season are pretty close. Like it's about like his brother, that whole thing. Like the body in the ice hockey rink, like that whole scene is like basically the same.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. But after that, it's way different.
How many books are there?
Let's see. Well, I have at least 3 sitting next to me. I think there's like maybe 5-ish. Actually,
Can you say like after the first book is completely different?
Pretty much, yeah. There's not.
How does it end the book series?
I honestly don't remember. I think. Did I finish the last book? I might not have even read the last book. Hold on. Let me just look up how many there were.
Was the Trinity Killer
there was
in the
8.
books?
No.
8 books. They didn't do the Trinity Killer?
No. I think that was a show, original. But yeah, like the books are completely different after the first one.
I need to read those books because like
Yeah.
I just want to see how they went about the basically 8 seasons since there's 8 books. You know what I mean? See what they did differently than the show.
I don't think I read the last one. I think I read Dexter's Final Cut, which I thought would be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the last one, which is Dexter is Dead. So.
Is it made by the same person?
Yeah, the same author for all of them.
Okay. I mean,
Jeff Lindsay.
Did the author like have anything to do with the show?
Maybe for the first season.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right, because it's like, okay. Oh,
But yeah, I think other than that, he had nothing to do with the show.
Mm-hmm. I always like that people make fun of You on Netflix saying it's a watered-down Dexter. But I'm like this. Because he kills people does not make him Dexter. He is nothing like Dexter. It kind of annoys me when people bring that up. I'm like, no, Dexter kills bad people who kill. You, the main Joe's just a nut. He just can't. He just falls in love with a woman and he just says you and kills people who are a part of her life. Have you had the chance to watch You?
No.
I'd say it's a good watch.
Yeah, whenever that comic, when stuff came out about him, the one that played the pedophile, I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed in a bad way. Like, you know what I mean when you laugh like, oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
I was like
how does this happen, kind of thing.
I'm like, how are you so spot on?
Yeah.
It's okay. He gets killed in the second season of You. I was happy. I was like, okay, at least he died for being a pedo. Maybe that'll happen in real life.
Yeah, seriously.
I'd say honestly, even though that happens, I'd still suggest watching You.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which season. They're both like interesting, so I can't really say which one I like better. Because I like the girl in the second season a lot better, especially when fucking twist happens and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's like I hate when people just compare the show to Dexter. I'm like, just because he kills people does not make it Dexter.
Right.
You know what I mean? People will try and like make things the same just because they have one thing a little bit similar, even though it's not even really similar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Dexter was smart. He knew what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
Even though half the time he was a goofball and like would get himself in crap situations also. Yeah. And that's how. And it's funny, like, did you ever notice, like, in almost every season of Dexter's, because Dexter, like, messed up somehow. Like, it's always the first episode, it's always the first kill of the season. It's just like, oh, no, what did I do wrong? And he almost gets caught, and it's like, I gotta figure out how to make myself not get caught.
Yep. Yep, that's how it always went.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I have no idea. So it's like, I don't. What would you want if you like? Even though we don't want this season to happen, what would you kind of want to happen?
I kind of mentioned it. Like, I don't want that.
Get rid of the last season. This is the last season. It's like it's a replacement for the last season.
No, I would want them to continue. It's like you wrote yourselves into that corner. You got to get yourself out.
You want them to learn from their problems.
You made Lumberjack Dexter. You got to figure out what the hell you're gonna do with Lumberjack Dexter. But
is he in Oregon?
Oregon or Washington, something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't want a big bad at all.
You don't want a big bad?
No, because if you look at all the seasons, like we just went through them all, basically, most of them were shitty and not interesting. Like, I couldn't even remember the mob guy, even though you kind of liked that season, or at least that, character.
He was just interesting because he went back and forth with Dexter. But don't get me wrong, that season was like meh to me. Even though people rank it high in a really good season, where I'm like, I don't get why it's a good season.
Yeah. So that one, Apocalypse, awful. Season 3, bleh, so like at least half were not good.
Yeah, true. I agree. Half the killers they had or antagonists were just poop.
Yeah. So like, don't even attempt.
Yeah, because it's like the only ones who were good were like Ice Truck Killer, Trinity. I like Jordan Chase and his group. And then,
right.
Then the second season.
Yeah. So like, don't do like, see how is Dexter like, the whole thing is like, oh, he's exiling himself as punishment. It's like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
how is he reckoning with that? Like, what? Why are you telling a story now? What is the story now?
Mm-hmm.
I would, is he trying to connect with people now? Is he trying to completely isolate himself? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is happening? Is he reverting back? Because he probably friggin' is.
Oh
Because
yeah, because like
I mean,
you're
come
right.
on.
You're right, because it's like, and then they did like I always I enjoyed whenever he would kill like an older like killer, like an older serial killer, and he'd always ask them, he's like, how do you feel going on this long? And it's like, and they always did. They're like, it kind of gets annoying. Like when Trinity was like, bro, I tried to stop, I couldn't. It
Yeah.
was just too much. And then I remember he killed the one where they called him the dentist. It was like the old man, and like Dexter had to fake. I think that's the next season. I think that's season 6, like where he killed the old guy who was like, he called himself the dentist, and he was just too fucking old to kill people anymore because he was just bad bones, bad body, can't knock anyone out. But he was
Yeah.
like, yes, I want to kill, but I'm too old. And it's just like, it gives a sign like, Dexter, you don't want to do this your whole life.
That's why I think Trinity was like just the most fascinating, because Dexter
Mm-hmm.
became obsessed with him
Yep.
because he thought he was this dude who had this
His life
twisted
together.
balance of being able to kill and having this pristine family life.
Which was
And
not true.
right, yeah, he was completely friggin' warped, and he had his family hostage. And but
Mm-hmm.
but then they just kept the series going, and Dexter
Mm-hmm.
didn't actually learn shit from that at all.
Right.
Like,
Right? Yeah,
season
he did.
4 would have been a perfect way to end the series.
Mm-hmm. But
Like,
if they would.
Dexter thought he was going to learn how to be, both a better serial killer and a better husband and father, and then he brings in this ungodly horror into his home because of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you screwed up, dude. You fucked it.
Dexter should have just let Trinity jump off the building. That's where he messed up at. It's 'cause
Right? Yeah,
he
yeah.
got too greedy and wanting to kill him. And that's how it is.
Yeah, like,
I want to
yeah.
kill you, and that's what's going to get me caught.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, it's his hubris about everything. And then, the final episode, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I have no idea. Like you said, it's like, how do you bring back his character, especially like you said, if we do, yeah, let them stay. You messed up your bed in L.A. in it basically. And it's like, yeah, you gotta fix your problem, but how do you bring him back from being a lumberjack?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's
He
if the
kills other lumberjacks.
like the problem is that if it's the writing team that was there for the final, I guess, 3+ seasons,
And it
they
probably
don't.
won't be.
Right, because that was 7 years ago. But that's like what we have to go on. Like, we don't know who's actually like involved other than Michael C. Hall.
Uh,
um, like, they don't have the skills to like pull off something um, like the Breaking Bad movie. You know?
there's a Breaking Bad movie?
Oh, you didn't the Camaro, like the Aaron Paul.
No. No, I've never watched Breaking Bad, even though everyone always tells me
Oh,
to.
okay.
I've never watched it. Like, my mom watches it. Like I just, I don't know what it is. I just never got into Breaking Bad, even though I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. So like, Breaking Bad ended around the same time in 2013, and massive critical success. Everybody friggin' loves that show. Uh, Considered one of the best endings ever. Just perfectly ties it with a bow. then last year, or I guess I guess it was last year, end of last year, they, it's like, oh, there's all of a sudden a Breaking Bad movie on Netflix. And it's just sort of continues what happened to one character in the immediate aftermath of the finale. And or like sort of like during and after the finale. Like what happens to him.
Oh, you're talking about his partner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they brought back, like, was Calling Saul a prequel to everything happening?
Better Call Saul happens before. Yeah, that's a prequel.
Okay. All right.
But like, I don't think that the Breaking Bad movie. Was it called Camaro? I think it was called Camaro.
I think you're right. I'm starting to remember it now.
Yeah, I don't think it was a story that necessarily needed to be told, but it was at least told well and well made. It was pretty superfluous. I think it was just that creative team wanting to go back to that world and do something with those characters again, which is fine as long as they didn't like retcon anything, which luckily they didn't because they didn't need to. But like, Dexter is not Breaking Bad. Like even like the early scenes were really good television, but they were not Breaking Bad levels. And so I don't see a case where they can pull off something like Camaro. Even though I think it has a lot of problems, it still was well made enough where it's not going to like enrage the fan base of a beloved critical darling.
But you know what? Also, like with that, like to add on to your point, at least with Breaking Bad, you had a character to lead off with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, besides like the main character from it, like, you know what I mean? It was his partner, Dexter.
Right.
You killed off his sister, and like, oh, you're gonna tell about his lover who has his kid? No one cares about that.
Right. You're just stuck with Dexter, so you're just like, okay, well, what is he going to do?
And then if it's in another state, like, you're getting rid of popular characters. Like I said, Batista and Masoka, they were interesting. People liked them. They had like the funny dynamic, like, you know what I mean? They were like the interesting side characters to the show.
Yeah.
Like, where Batista was kind of like a better brother to Deb, and Masoka was just kind of the goofball.
Right.
Who came in handy.
Right. So like, are you really gonna go back to Miami? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like? And as much as those characters were part of the show, going back to them would feel more like fan service than anything.
Here it is. Dexter finds the Zodiac killer. He solved that murder.
Yeah, like what do you do with this character now?
It's like, yeah, it's like I don't, like you said, it's like, what can you do?
Like, I feel like it's going to be something really, really dumb. Like, there's a killer or something threatening somebody he cares about, threatening Hannah and the kid or whatever. And so our dark hero Dexter needs to spring into action and come out of lumberjack retirement. And that's going to be really lame. And what's the point of that? Like, honestly, I would rather him be off in lumberjack prison. His stupid self-appointed exile.
I get why he didn't want himself to die, because it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's your instincts, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Like, yeah, his whole thing was about survival, and that's yeah.
And that's just implemented into his brain. It's like, and people don't realize it's like every human being has that instinct, the instinct to survive. That's why you flinch, because you don't want to get hit. So
yeah.
And he was just taught his whole life, don't die, just survive. And it's just like, and he saw all those deaths, and it's like, oh, I should just kill myself. And he's like, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, it was just die. they just handled it the worst friggin' way possible. So it's like, yeah, if you want to, I don't know, maybe fill in the dots of him being on the boat and then he suddenly a lumberjack. If that would help.
Yeah, show us why this was his actions. You're absolutely right. Show us why he did what he did.
Yeah.
Show everyone why they're pissed off about the ending of Dexter.
Yeah.
And why he wants to cut down trees. Yeah. We'll figure it out next year. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I'll begrudgingly watch it.
I know. Yeah, it'll just be like... It will be like... The easy comparison is Game of Thrones, but like it will be like getting to those final couple episodes where it was like, this is so bad, but I need to that morbid curiosity. I have to see how they're gonna fuck this up.
I'm not gonna lie, I keep forgetting that Game of Thrones is over. You know what I forgot almost for a second.
It was the biggest thing on the planet, and it was so bad that like it just vanished from everybody's brain.
Just because he got impatient.
Just wait 7 more years. Game of Thrones reboot.
No, it's like I don't even know, to be honest. It's just like it's like who can like. It's either you make a shitty ending, or you go on too long. Like look out The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They should have been died. Like, it should have just been over. Or, like, find a goddamn cure and just cut it off. And, like, then, like, The Walking Dead killed itself because it killed off its main characters, getting rid of characters that everyone loves. It's like, you just need to end this. And now it's, like, Beyond The Walking Dead. Like, their side story that's going to be their main story now. It's like, what? I'm like, people aren't tired of zombies yet?
I think it's the funniest thing because it's baked into that whole property's DNA. The entire concept for the comic, Robert Kirkland said, like in the second issue, he was like, "Yeah, my whole point for this series was to see if I can make a comic series that would never end."
Really, I didn't know that.
Yes, okay. Yes.
Well, he did. Well, he did exactly what he wanted. He got.
Yeah.
Sold to AMC, and AMC fucking ran with that ball.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like, even when people considered it good, I watched it.
You never liked it?
It was okay, but like it wasn't like as good as people thought it. Like I didn't. Yeah.
I'll say I got tired of it. Like, okay, first season hooked me out. It's funny how I got into Walking Dead. It was like whenever like it was first getting announced and shit. It was like me and my mom, because like my mom's also someone, she just enjoys watching shows and movies and all that type of stuff. And it was like we didn't watch The Walking Dead in the beginning, like with literally to the first whole season. We didn't watch it until like one day we're just flicking through the channels. It was Sunday, and it was like season finale tonight, and they were doing like I love that Walking Dead did do this, like where they
did those marathons.
They would do the marathon on season finale. Like I enjoyed that, you know what I mean? It's like it's okay. It's like, oh, if you didn't watch it, you get the chance to watch everything. And around like we caught the end of the last episode, and it was just interesting. You know what I mean? It was like dark. The story was Rick Grimes is an enjoyable character. It was like them just kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Oh shit, we got to survive. Like the first season was interesting. I liked the second season. Third season was okay, and it was just like. After the fourth season, it's too much. I'm like, what are you gonna do? It's like, oh, zombies, oh, angry people, different faction, zombies, evil faction, zombies, evil faction, and it just got overplayed because you could only do so much.
It got to the point where characters were just making so many stupid decisions, and like it was just hard to suspend disbelief. Like the Glenn and the dumpster.
They should have just killed him. I remember I was enraged when he survived that.
I was like, come on, man, like, come on.
And then they saved it for the bat situation with Negan.
Right? Yeah, and then they like drew that out for like 2 years.
True.
And it's like, we know you hit Glenn. Like we know it. We know it because of the dumpster.
Right. Right.
We know.
The crazy thing about it too is like I read like I read a little bit of the comic. Well, not a little bit. I read like because the compendium, or I'm probably pronouncing the word wrong, but
No, yeah, compendium,
like
yeah.
Yeah, the big one, like where it shows all the chapters. Because I hate whenever comics do like, oh, here's one chapter 2. I'm like, I just wait for that. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I read the first and second one. It was good. It was really good, and it was like, the problem with The Walking Dead. It would have worked well, especially keep inviting like all the anti-people, like the other factions and shit. It would have worked if they didn't take too long
for anything to happen.
For everyone, well, that and like, cause there were pointless episodes that were super boring and slow, and it's like, but in general, just like to kill someone, like in the compendium, the governor died pretty fast.
That was, oh god, that annoyed me so much, especially because, like, it was so quick in the comics. He was just like such a minor character. Like he just happened, he wasn't a big deal. And I didn't think he was interesting in the show. And they dragged that out for so long.
Like where in the comics, they like, don't get me wrong, he still was messed up in the comics, like where he raped Michonne and like he destroyed their safe house to jail. But it's like you did enough of him to make it no, okay, we don't like this guy, kill him.
Right. And
then the same thing with the cannibals. They hit the cannibals, and then I feel like Negan was more interesting in the comic than on the show.
Yeah, he was.
It's just like I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people in the show died a lot earlier on, and then also Daryl, and I'm pretty sure Merle weren't in the comics. Like, as I remember, I know Daryl wasn't. I kind of forget about Merle.
He might have been, but he might have died like early, like in the show.
Oh yeah, remember Shane died super early. Also, he died in like the first, before they even got to the farm.
Yeah,
I'll admit I did like that. They did Shane. I liked Shane in the show a lot more than in the comic.
Yeah, I had no problems with that. But like the governor was not interesting.
Yeah, the governor was boring. I have my zombie daughter, and I look at a bunch of heads of zombies.
And I got an eye patch.
Yeah, right. I got an eye patch.
Cool.
It was boring.
Yeah, it's like, can we move on? I read the comic up until like issue 120, maybe. Like it was just like, I could tell it was just going to be the same thing, except the factions they would meet would just get crazier.
I did hear about that. Like I heard there was a faction that was like that hidden zombie skin. The Whisperers.
Yeah, I think I got to where they were like teasing that. And so that's what like everybody that was like still watching the show was like, just wait till they get to the Whisperers. I'm like, no, man, I'm not waiting around for this shit. It's not good enough.
Yeah, like I don't even know the last time I watched that show. I'm like, part of me, like the one day I was debating, I saw it on like Netflix, because Netflix just. I was like, do I just try and rewatch it and just see if I can enjoy it? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, I do feel like that's an interesting topic, the Whisperers. That is kind of interesting. A bunch of fucking nuts like who roam around zombies, and then you're like, at first you're thinking, are zombies just evolving? No, it's just a bunch of nutcases.
But at the same time, like early on, don't they like slather themselves with zombie guts to get past them?
Well, no, I heard the Whisperers, they skin the zombies and completely, like, they look like zombies.
But
yeah, that'd be more interesting, like, if they didn't take too long to get there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, it's like, and like I said, like where they take too long to get stuff done. Yep. I got made fun of by my family for so long for Negan, because I kept talking. It was like, no, you don't understand, dude. I got made fun of by my family because I kept saying, "Wait, you think the governor's bad? Negan is way worse." And they're like, "When's Negan finally coming?" And it took fucking 3 more seasons for him to finally appear. And my family kept, and it was a joke around the house. Negan is bad. And I'm like, no, it's like, and I'm just waiting. I'm like, are they gonna introduce this guy or not, or I'm gonna be looked at as a liar? Like where I bring up this guy who's like crazy, but he hasn't even shown up yet, and they took forever to introduce him.
Yep.
I remember that. That was annoying. I was so mad at that time. I'm like, damn, they probably think I'm dumb as hell, and they would make fun of me. They're like, Negan, and I'm like, he's coming. I felt like the running joke of like, how in Game of Thrones they always made fun of like the dragons, they're coming.
Yeah,
They're on their way.
It was the same thing. It was the same thing. Yep.
That was literally me. I'm like, Negan, he's coming. You'll see. He's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's like that South Park thing. Don't worry, the dragons.
Yep.
Dragons are coming.
Oh damn, it was rough. And then when he finally appeared, I looked at them like this. I told you. I told you he was crazy. But it was drawn out. It took too damn long.
Yep.
And then I remember people got after the bat scene when he killed Abraham and Glenn. People stopped watching it.
That's when I stopped because I just thought it was really bad writing. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, well, we knew this. Like, you drew that out for like 2 seats. Like, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care who you killed. I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah, because then they take for like. It took almost a season or two, like you said, to introduce him.
And then the season finale was like you heard the swing of the bat, and then you had to wait until the next season to see who actually got hit.
You're right.
I was like, ugh, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Oh, you hit Glenn, dumpster boy? Great. He should have died then.
Mm-hmm.
He was on borrowed time. We all knew. Especially because he died in the comics that way. It's like,
yeah,
we all knew.
I hated that they killed Abraham in that scene also, because he died differently in the comics, as I recall. Like he kind of died in the war between them, like both groups.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, like I dropped off of the comics because it just kept doing the same stuff, and then it was like, oh, this guy's got a tiger. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, how the hell did you tame that tiger, bro? It had to take it a long time, and it's also the only reason that does not make sense to me. Well, no, never mind. Okay, never mind. I get how he did it. I remember they did.
I mean, we're in a post-Tiger King world, you know?
Right? Well, no. Remember they brought up he worked at the zoo. He worked at the zoo with that tiger.
Sure.
So
why not?
So
yeah, he's a Siegfried. He's Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I'm like, okay, because at first I thought, like, I remember, I'm like, did he just go into the zoo and grab that tiger? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that tiger would eat him. But okay, if you had that emotional bond, like you raised that tiger, yeah, but why aren't animals infected by this virus? And your tiger
you can't even feed all these people, and you're gonna feed a tiger?
And they eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was like, okay.
That made no sense either.
Yeah.
But then he dies.
Does he? I don't even think I got that far.
I just know he does. It's like, because I remember, it's like around the time I stopped watching, just seeing like stuff like, whenever.
Oh, he shows up in the show?
Oh yeah, he showed up in the show.
Okay. Yeah, because I definitely did not keep watching that far. He
teamed up with them to try and take down Negan.
Oh, okay.
And he has like a love thing with Carol.
Oh.
But it's just like, I didn't watch like the whole war stuff. I just got bored with it. You know what I mean? And the same thing. My mom said the same thing. She was like, "I'm just bored with the show. It's the same thing over and over again." It's just like, yeah, they kind of just drew it out.
Yep.
It's like you either, what's the phrase? In Batman, you either die a hero, or live long enough to become the villain.
Yep.
And that's what happens with shows. You either end early and end on a good note, or you just become shit.
Yep. I mean, that's how it goes.
And it's just like, is there any good shows on right now?
Like, I don't know. I haven't been watching all that much.
Yeah, I've been in a bender like where it's like, I don't know what to watch anymore. And it's sad. It's like, dang. I'm like, because I'm bored. I'm like, I don't want to play no games. There's nothing really that interests me. And it's like, it's funny. I kind of get like that. It's like, I'll be really into games. Then I'll stop. Then I'll start watching shows. But then I get bored with shows. It's like, even though there's new stuff, like there's things that kind of pique my interest. I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting. But I'm just not in the mood to watch you. I'm just going to watch something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, I recently rewatched iZombie.
I didn't think I finished the last couple seasons.
iZombie, I really loved iZombie.
I liked the first couple. I don't remember how many there were. I watched at least the first
5.
2 seasons. 5. Oh Jesus.
There's 5 seasons. It's like, and you know what? It ended early enough. Like, it ended on a good note.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it could have been a little bit more interesting. Like, they kind of rushed things in the 5th season. Like, where, what the hell? What's this? You just threw this in here into the story, but it ended on a good season to end. And it's just like, I love the shenanigans with iZombie.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, when I briefly worked at a comic book store, I was like, I want to just see how the comic was. Ends completely different. Like, and I already know that happens. Oh my god, like, in the show, if you don't mind me spoiling, like, the show, she gets away and lives a happy life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ruin that. Like, he just lets you know, like, what happens to her.
Sure.
The freaking comic, she becomes like a deity and, like, goes into space and shit. And it's like,
space.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, you don't understand. Like, I was at work. Like, I was at work because, like, comic book store slow as hell. It's like, and I was like, and like, I would casually just go through the comics and see. I'm like, okay, iZombie. Oh, this is the last one. Let me see just how it ends.
Yeah.
Because, like, spoilers, I don't mind them. It's just like, all I see is like, oh, she saved the day, and I'm like, wait, iZombie became more than just zombies. And like, all you see is the end of her is like a giant version of her, like, up in space, like, but she, like, kind of looks, like, it's just weird. Like, she's just a being in space. I'm like, wait, what is going on here? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I understand what they did with the show. Like, they couldn't. How do you do that?
Right. Jesus.
It's just fun. It's just funny seeing the shows, like, compared to, like, the comics or, like, the books they have of themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think. Is there anything that I enjoyed watching where I preferred it more than the book or the comic? I feel like there is. Like, I know there's something, like, that I've watched where I enjoyed it more than, like, the written material.
I enjoyed Girl with the Dragon Tattoo more than the book.
I need to read the book, but that movie was great. I love that movie.
Yeah. Because I friggin' love David Fincher and, like, anything he touches. So.
I get it.
But I'd like that more than the book.
I'm trying to think. It's like, I swear, I know there's, like, this one show. It's like, I think it's a show or it might be a movie. It's like where it was just generally more enjoyable than the written material. You know, it wasn't fucking Harry Potter. Made me so mad because, like, I was a Potterhead growing up and, like, read all the books multiple times. Like, I read the books so many times, like, that the covers and back were falling off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was wear and tear from how often I read those damn books, and it's just like, it made me so mad watching those movies growing up, like, where everyone's like, these movies are great. I'm like, no, they're not.
Okay, thank you for one thing. Thank you, because I agree. How do you feel about the first 2 movies, though?
I will say this. I enjoyed the first 3 movies.
Okay.
I like the first 3 movies. I'm a Sirius Black fan. Like, I like Sirius Black. And it's like, 4th was intriguing to watch. Like, you know what I mean? It was just, I just like the whole Tribe Wizard, but it's like, but once you read the book, you're like, damn, this is shit. Because, like, there's so much great stuff in the book. Like, that's what sucks about the movies. They took out so much great stuff that they could have threw in there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the first, like, couple movies, I thought they were good. They did their part. Like, you know what I mean? Introduced you to the world.
Yeah.
Had interesting characters.
My whole thing with the movies is that the first 2 made Hogwarts look exactly as I pictured it. Like, exactly. Like, to a T is how I imagined it, and then the movie completely translated that to how I pictured it when I was reading the books.
Agreed. I'll agree with you on that, yeah.
Like,
especially, like the dining hall.
Yeah, it's like they took it from my mind and
just threw it in there.
Put it on the screen. Then they completely changed how everything looked, starting with the 3rd movie, because it was a different director, and it was just a different thing.
I didn't notice. I'm gonna have to rewatch. I guess I'm gonna have to find my old DVD player.
Yeah, but Yeah. Also, fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she's trash. Like, but you know what? Just because she's trash doesn't make the series trash. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It sucks when shitty people make great things. It sucks when that happens. Like,
Mm-hmm.
cause I love the books. The books were great,
I
but
mean, yeah,
she's.
I was obsessed when I was a kid. Like, when the new books would come out, I would read
Hmm.
them literally in one day.
Did you watch the? I mean, did you read the play?
Now I don't give a shit anymore.
Oh, it was terrible.
That's what I
I
heard.
hated it. I hated it so much. Like, and you don't know why it's so bad?
Hmm.
Because like I'm like one of those people. If I watch something or read something, like I'll retain the story, like bits and pieces. Like especially if I really enjoyed it. Like
Sure.
I
Yeah.
can kind of like I won't be able to give you every single detail, but I can tell you the story, what went down almost,
Mm-hmm.
like from like beginning to end.
Yeah.
I don't remember a damn thing. All I remember is that his kid was depressed. like that's all I remember. And like I think they went back in time. It was bad. And I was like, oh, because I gave my books to my sister. Like I gave the
Mm-hmm.
ones that were still readable. I gave them to my little sister so she could read them. But I was like, oh, that last one was terrible. Because like I remember I asked my mom like, yo, because I know you wake up early. Can you grab that for me? And she would. Like, you know what I mean? She just enjoyed that her kid was reading books.
Mm-hmm.
But oh yeah, that was terrible. It's like seventh book was amazing though. Seventh book was fuzzing amazing.
6 was my favorite.
Six was really good. Six was really good. Ooh.
That
And like,
that scene where they have to, I guess it's like the first Horcrux in the
mm-hmm.
cave.
You're so right. They could have done so much more with the first, like in that movie with that. I remember
That was like the most traumatizing scene.
You're so right.
It was
I was.
straight up horror.
It literally was. I remember shaking. Like I was freaked out reading that. I was like, "Damn, this is intense."
I
And
was
like,
like talking to my brother about that recently because I was like, yeah, this was just the darkest shit ever. Where Dumbledore is making Harry, like, is
forced him to
forcing
drink.
Harry to force him to drink this stuff
Well,
as he's pleading for his life.
well, even remember before that, like where he cut himself, like he's hurting himself, like they had to do a couple things,
Yeah.
like where they didn't show that in the movies,
No.
like to get to the Horcrux, like the things that made it like even like built up tension to that scene and like drinking that damn water, and it was just like, you're right. It's like, oh, you could have gave a lot of kids bad nightmares if you would have went with the books route.
Yeah, that's like the scene from like the whole series that like stays with me the most.
And you know what makes me mad about the last two movies?
Hmm.
You had two movies for this
Yeah,
last damn book.
yeah.
Two movies,
Yeah.
and I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I get not. You don't want your movie to be too long. Like, did you ever watch the old King Kong that came out when we were younger?
Oh, I don't even know. There's been so many.
There was a King Kong that came out like 2008, 2009. Like, I think so. Forgive me if
I
I'm
don't
wrong.
I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
But there was like a King Kong. It was a great movie, but it just was so too long. You know what I mean?
Oh. I think I had that on HD DVD.
It was like where King Kong looked legit, like he looked cool, like and
Yeah.
everything, and then like they had bugs and all that craziness, like
Was
it
Jack Black in that?
I think so. Yeah, he was in that one. Jack Black
Okay,
was in
yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I had
It's
that
the
on
Jack
HD
Black one
DVD.
because it was the bug scene was like the most interesting scene that scared everyone because they fell into a ditch and all that type of stuff, and like there was just giant bugs, which is just nightmare inducing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a very good scene. It's the best scene in the whole movie, honestly, dealing with those damn bugs. But it's like that movie was just too long, and I got mad at Harry Potter because it's like, okay, you're splitting it into two movies,
Mm-hmm.
and you're cutting almost a lot of the information in the books. Like I hate how they got rid of the cup.
Yep.
The cup scene was completely different than like almost different because remember they did the flashbacks, like looking back into time, like trying to explain the Horcrux and all that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they could have added more material from the books into those movies since you had two damn movies.
Yeah.
And it was just upsetting because I'm like, dang. Was the war up to your hype for the last one? Like, was the final war, like, did you enjoy the war?
N- I Not really.
Neither did I. My only thing I enjoyed was Molly Weasley killing Beatrix. That was my favorite because she was like, "Get off my daughter, bitch."
Yeah.
that was my favorite. That was like my only thing like that I enjoyed about it.
Yeah, because in the books, I just remember it being almost like it was told almost like an afterthought, where it was just like, "Here's the body count."
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where they screwed the pooch in the last movie because they tried to make it the whole. That was the last movie. The war.
Because maybe that's just what I'm remembering, but from the book, like the whole thing was just like Harry Voldemort. Like that was the battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then everything else was kind of happening like off screen almost. But that's just what I remember.
Yeah, those movies because like I can't watch them now because I'm an adult and I'm cynical like about like certain things, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that was the problem. Like I loved that shit as a kid. Like I said, I new book, I would read it the day it came out. Like I would read the entire thing, but then I like went to middle school and like I didn't give a shit anymore. Like about it all. Like I had the costumes, I had merchandise. Like dude, I was obsessed. And then middle school, I just nope, I was done. Like I saw the movies, but like I didn't.
See, I didn't really, like. I would watch the movies because, like, in high school, like, you know what I mean, because it took forever for them to freaking release that 7th one.
Yeah, by the time it came out, like all the actors are like 30. You know,
right?
Because like in the beginning, we were growing up with them, and then it took so long that they were like in their 30s by then. Yeah.
You know what's funny to me? Why hasn't anyone else tried to make like a Wizarding World or anything?
I mean, there are.
But they're just shit.
if you look up, if you do a Google search, is it Neil Gaiman has a comic series? Is it Magic? I think. Books of Magic. You might get really surprised at what the covers look like.
Why?
Just do a quick Google search. Neil Gaiman Books of Magic.
Got you. You're like, I just want to hear your shock reaction. Let me see. What's this look like? A kid on a skateboard. It literally looks like Harry Potter.
Yep. Isn't that just Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's just literally.
So then, let me tell you when
it's like first... spot on Harry Potter. Like he didn't change anything. He gave him glasses, dark.
Let me tell you when the first issue of Books of Magic came out. December 1990.
Oh. Dang. So his just didn't catch on. That's all it was.
I mean, it had an audience because it was a comic or whatever. But I mean, it's also Neil Gaiman, so he's doing quite all right. But it's just really funny.
Dang, I didn't know all that. Oh, like I never heard of it. Never heard.
Yeah, most people haven't.
They're like, it's like Hollywood is like, all right, which one are we gonna take? You know what? I don't like him being on that skateboard. We're just gonna choose this guy. We're just gonna choose J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Dang.
So yeah, there's other stuff out there.
We need to make a Wizarding World without the transphobia.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a new one. Like it's gonna be a better, more socially acceptable Harry Potter.
I haven't read Books of Magic, but I will have to say Neil Gaiman is usually really good about trans issues, especially in The Sandman.
Really?
Yeah, he has a whole arc about a trans person in The Sandman, and trans people seem to have received it well. So I'll take their word for it.
I want to watch his the one thing he made, American Gods.
American Gods, the book, is one of my favorite books.
Is it?
Yeah.
I only know the only problem with the show that I know a lot of people are pissed off about, I guess in the 3rd season, they got rid of Orlando Jones.
Yeah, they fired Mr. Nancy.
It's because they're like, you're making this, you're gonna mess up the world, because apparently his character was very like, I'm trying to think, because he brought up like a lot of issues for like Black Americans or just Black people in general, and I remember because I remember reading it because he talked about it. They were like, they didn't like that I was doing that in the show, so they got rid of me. And I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Why would you guys do that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense either because...
Was his character like that in the book?
Yeah.
So it's pointless to get rid of him because he's doing what he's doing in the book.
Yeah. And then their justification for it is that, oh, well, the upcoming season, we're going to a part of the world where, like, Mr. Nancy doesn't show up. It's like, okay, well, then you fire him? You don't just, like, keep him on... This, like, you know, it's like in Game. I keep bringing up Game of Thrones, but like, there was a whole season where Bran wasn't in it, and they didn't fire him. Mm-hmm. You know, he just wasn't featured in that season.
Yo, tell me if I'm crazy. I said this to my mom. She said I was a nut. Does Orlando Jones look like a black Jeff Goldblum to you?
I'd have to look at him again. Hold on.
I'm telling you, look at Orlando Jones, then look at Jeff Goldblum. Like, I said this to my mom.
Oh,
like,
I know all about Jeff Goldblum.
I'm like, Mom, he looks just like him. He's just black.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Right? Like, they
with
look
these glasses?
They look alike. Like,
with
they
this
have, like...
sweater?
It's like, they just kind of seem... Like, they just kind of have, like,
with that
features
haircut?
of each other. Like, I told that to my mom. She told me, shut up. I'm like, no, they look alike.
Oh, my God. Somebody else thinks so, too. There's a side-by-side.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy.
Holy shit.
I'm like, they look alike.
You're not the only one.
Good. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew there was, don't get me wrong, I'm missing a few nuts, but
yeah, like in the third row of Google Images, somebody's done side by side.
That's funny. I knew it. Every time I bring it up, I hate bringing it because you ever have like certain theories or just opinions on something, and you're just like, people are just like, no, and you're just like, damn, I gotta find people with like minds who are smart like me.
Yeah, it's vindication.
Because I always thought, like, growing up, I'm like, because I remember I mixed them up once when I was younger because I just didn't know, and I was just like, damn. I'm like, I always thought he was like white or black, one of the two, and it's like, damn, like, no, they just look alike.
Jeff Goldblum has that tan sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And it's just, they literally just look alike.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I completely see it.
I just looked it up, like, yeah.
Especially when he's wearing these glasses and like the sweater.
I'm like that's. Like you said, I'm just looking up side by sides now. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit what no one says. They're probably twins, and they just never told the world. Like somehow, they got a black mom or a black dad, and it's like the white the other parent. It's just like they just came out that way.
Where's Orlando Jones from? Oh, he's from Alabama. Okay, so.
I feel bad for that.
Well, because Jeff Goldblum's from Pittsburgh, so I'm just like, oh, where they?
I never knew that. Damn, my Pittsburgh knowledge.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, my Pittsburgh knowledge is trash.
Oh yeah, he's from Pittsburgh.
I never knew that. I always thought they looked alike.
Yeah.
It's funny. This episode just became just about pop culture.
I mean, I feel like most of ours are.
Yeah, true.
Well, except for the two where we,
Yeah, there's a occasion. Sometimes we get intense.
Yeah.
And other times we're just talking about our opinions on shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been wanting to read that book and watch that series, but it's like after I found out they fired him because of that shit, is like it kind of like made me not want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, American Gods is one of my favorite books. I watched the first couple episodes and meant to keep watching, but I just never did. It was okay. Mm-hmm. But then they changed the entire creative team after the first season. Nobody knew if there was going to be a second season. Mm-hmm. They lost what's her name from X-Files, either after the first season or the second season. That show's just been in such turmoil. Uh-huh. It's just yeah, maybe you should just cancel this shit, man.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the book is amazing. And if you want more Mr. Nancy, you should read Anansi Boys, which is like all about him and his family, and
Oh,
it's in the
really?
same universe. It's in the same universe as American Gods.
Just a side
So,
story, I assume.
basically, but yeah, it's like their own story,
Okay.
pretty much. Um, but yeah, I love American Gods, the book.
I'll have to check it out. Because like I remember your sister told me about it because she's a big fan of Coraline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she got me a like a really nice hardcover copy of American Gods for Christmas one year, or my birthday, whichever.
Nice.
Um, yeah, which I really appreciated.
Isn't like because I know he made Coraline. Isn't the book a lot darker than the movie?
Um, yeah, I'd say it is. It's not like super dark or anything.
Okay.
It there is probably more horror elements than the
Mm-hmm.
claymation movie. But it's still a kid's book.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I freaking want. Like like Hollywood's just been producing like crap horror stuff.
Yeah.
And I was saying it because like we carved pumpkins with the cousins and everything, and they were
Mhm.
talking about it. And I was like, and they were talking about horror movies. I'm like, I'm bored with them. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm tired of ghosts and demons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want a
Mhm.
monster movie, like to be serious. Like I want like a scary monster movie, something that's like, because I have an active imagination. Like growing up was rough because like I would read all of, like creepy pastas before they got terrible and over. And they abused like when they were actually good in the beginning and like just scary stories are like inactive turn off the lights you see everything. It's just like I
Mhm.
want something good like a good horror series or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Gotham?
No, no, I
Dude,
didn't.
watch it is so good.
Is it?
It's actually really good. It's like and it doesn't really have Batman. It kind of has Batman towards the end, but it doesn't have Batman. Like my favorite character in the Gotham series is Penguin. I love Penguin. I love his actor. He was like the perfect Penguin. I'm like I get met like honestly, I like him more than what's his name? Fucking Danny DeVito playing.
Really?
Yes, dude, you don't understand like his Penguin was just great in Gotham. Like I had like a soft core crush like and it's like not even like a crush it's just like I love the character of Penguin in
Yeah.
Gotham. And it was just a
Is
guy.
that the guy that they used for the outsider in Dishonored?
Let me see.
I
You
think
said the,
Dishonored 2 actually.
you said the outsider?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they literally just used him like in the penguin outfit.
Uh-huh. Yep. I love his character. He plays like a very like just kind of mischievous but just but bad in a good way character.
Hmm.
And like he had to walk down and everything. It was very good. And it's like it was interesting seeing like the backstory of the villains. Don't get me wrong, like
Yeah.
every show once you take it too long it gets kind of boring.
Sure.
The Jokers were great. I'll give them that. The Jokers were great.
Plural.
Joker, like there's two of them
Okay.
because it's twins.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yes, and it's played by the kid who plays Ian in Shameless, so it's like it was easy to fall for because I like the actor. It was like, and it's interesting because it kind of ties in with like the comic books a little bit because there's a series in the DC comics like. I mean, you might have heard because I know your sister told me you're in the comics. So it's like kind of like what was it where Batman's like there's three different Jokers.
Um. 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 Uh.
They talked about like the Joker's identity.
Oh. 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 Identity crisis.
I think so because it's like after he sat in the chair, and Batman was like, "There's three Jokers."
It might have been maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been a more recent thing, but maybe.
I need to get back into reading comics, but it's just it gets comics just get so out of nowhere and it takes forever sometimes. Like because I was reading
Yeah.
like I was because I'm not really a fan like. I'm not one of the people who just chooses. I kind of like both Marvel and DC for different reasons. Like characters, like you know what I mean. Like I just like certain characters. Like I was reading X-Men, but X-Men got too freaking. It took too long, and it's like there's so many side stories. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what's going on. Then there was the Carnage Wars, which was getting really good, but got lost. Then Immortal Hulk, and it's like DC. I was reading. I finished Dark Knight's Metal.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I thought it was all right. I need to finish Doomsday Clock.
Oh, I can't with that
You
shit.
can't. You don't like Doomsday Clock?
Any with the Watchmen stuff, no.
They do too
They should
much.
just
Do too much for
yeah.
you.
They just shouldn't.
Uh huh.
They just shouldn't.
I only read like the first 3, and it was like, all right, I don't know what's going on. Because I hate Superman. Never liked Superman. I'm not a Superman. I've hated Superman since I was a kid. Like there are certain characters I just don't like that people like. Captain America, hated him. Thought he was boring. Like as a kid. Like I don't like him, and I don't like Superman.
It just like whenever they just should not touch Watchmen. And I know there's like a new Rorschach shit series or whatever the hell, but it's just like he's a white supremacist vigilante.
I didn't know that.
And if you read Watchmen, like it's kind of obvious. Like if you read it in middle school, like a lot of people did, you kind of don't realize it. You just kind of think he's a vigilante. You know, he's like this gruff dude or whatever. But, like if you just like kind of read what he says, he's a friggin' like misogynist white supremacist. And it's not like it's hidden or anything either. You just kind of gotta like recognize what he's saying. And I think that's part of like the point and part of the problem. So, like his first monologue is talking about like all the horrors in the street, like crying out for help, and I'll whisper no. It's like, oh, you're just an asshole. You know.
He sounds like a Trump supporter.
Yeah, exactly. Like he would be, and like that's
the silent. We're the silent majority. We're gonna come out the shadows.
Yeah, and so like to like sort of like reboot him as oh, he's just part of the DC cast. It's like, ugh. It's just kind of gross.
That sucks. I wanted to buy a Rorschach mask because I just liked his mask was just cool.
Right. Did you watch? Okay, so here's the thing. So even though I said like they shouldn't touch Watchmen, did you watch the Watchmen series from earlier this year?
No, I plan on doing it, but I heard they stopped making they canceled it, didn't they?
Well, no, it was only supposed to be a miniseries.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So yeah, it's friggin' amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's complete because it's a sequel to the original series.
Wait, so is it a sequel to the movie?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a sequel to the comic.
Okay.
And it has like the like radical spirit of the comic while also tackling like contemporary problems.
Yeah, I did see like it talked about a lot of problems, like especially kind of in America in like the series.
Yeah, like it opens with like the Tulsa massacre. It's like it's just and it's just very well done. Like it was just probably the best show of the year.
Funny fact. I remember being a teenager, like, because I think we would have been in high school whenever the movie came out.
Yeah.
My mom took me and, like, all my siblings, like, all to go see the Watchmen movie, because, like, she just thought it was going to be a superhero movie. Oh, she found out. It was, like, this is the scene, like, she was, like it was like one of the first sex scenes, and she was just like, "Oh, we're not watching this."
Yeah.
And like she took all my siblings. I'm like, "Can I just stay and watch it?" And they're like, because I was like a teenager. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead." She didn't care for me, but I'm like, oh, it was so funny because she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go take them to go watch Race to Witch Mountain." And then I just remember that I'm like, oh, like my mom was like, "What the hell? I thought this was just gonna be a superhero movie."
Oof.
It was not. It was rated R. Because, like, like, sometimes something will get the rated R, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, Snakes on a Plane got rated R, but it's just snakes.
It's probably just because he says motherfucker a bunch. Like, PG-13, they're allowed one fuck, I think. So that's probably why.
True.
so that's probably why that happened. We should probably head to some business and wrap up.
All right, let's do that.
So we've been going for hour 25, looks like? Okay, cool. All right, time for some business. I want to apologize again for the lack of podcasts.
It's our bad, guys. You like we say in almost every episode, life.
Yeah. Like, so the business part of the business sort of took over a bit in September, October. So I figured it'd be a great time to plug the publishing shit I do because, hey, who says I do too many things? So yeah, if any authors are looking for an editor, or if they just need some help self-publishing, they should get in touch with me because that's what I do to sort of pay bills that I really need to pay. So yeah, reach out, publishing at DeadEndRoad.co. And DeadEndRoad Media, we publish books too. So if you're in the market or you got little ones, check out Fred's First Adventure. It's an adorable little picture book for kids. It's available absolutely everywhere you can get books, and I literally mean that. Like, every store you can think of, like online, you could probably find the book.
Especially if you like koalas.
Yeah, it's really, really well done illustrations. It's just a really cute book. Which who doesn't need something like that right now?
Especially in these times, yeah.
Yeah. Started putting up edited portions of the Pathologic stream I did back in probably also July. So check that out on the YouTube. I'm going to be finishing up the rest of that in the coming days, and then at some point I will also finish that playthrough because I want to finish that game because I enjoyed it a lot. There's a ton of writing projects that I'm struggling to finish, which will be forthcoming. But I did get one out, so check out the cryptocurrency piece I put up on the site. It's all about how I wanted to figure out what the hell is going on with crypto. And so it's sort of like my journey into that. And I basically learned that cryptocurrency is really, really dumb. So you should laugh at all the weird fake cyberpunk shit that they want to try to do with cryptocurrency.
How people got screwed over in the end.
I did okay, but like, it's such just weird shit.
Is it?
Yeah, just like all the terminology and like there's sub currencies for currencies. It's just a mess. It's So, people should check that out. I think it's a lot of fun. And I've probably mentioned it at least on the last few podcasts, but I'm writing that Persona 5 analytical epic piece. It's still coming. It just keeps growing larger. I split it into 2 parts, and now it's 3 parts. So, pray for my sanity because it just keeps getting larger and larger. Yeah, I think that's everything I had to promote. Check out the Facebook. We got some memes going on there, some fun stuff. Do we have stuff going on the TikTok? Right?
Yeah, TikTok. TikTok's so hard to understand, man.
Don't ask me. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just stating that it's a fact. It's like, and then I feel awkward because it's like there's people our age and if not older, but then there's kids and it's just like
it's like teens and stuff, and it's like, oh, I feel so old.
Dude, I felt bad because I was on my other TikTok for Beige Saiyan, and like I posted something. It's like, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, I'm a very hard person to debate with. You know what I mean? I grew up with Dragon Ball Z. I know a lot of it. You don't understand, man. It's like Dragon Ball. I know it like the back of my hand almost, because like I read the compendiums. I read stuff that's legit, like just only in Japan. It never came over to America. It's like I know stating facts. And like one day, like someone was coming at me, and I was like, "Yo, are you dumb?" And it was a kid. I felt so bad. And like, don't get me wrong, I apologized to the kid, and the kid was like, "I'm gonna follow you." He's like, well, and he kept talking to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, kid. Go to sleep. And then he was like,
"Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna go to sleep now. I gotta go to bed. My mom told me." I'm like, "Well, good night, little dude."
Oh, God.
It was just awkward. I'm like, damn, I don't want to argue with kids.
Yeah. Man.
And it's just, and then it's awkward. My little sister's on there, so I get tagged by her to videos. I'm just like, God damn it, TikTok. I feel old.
Yeah.
And I hate it. It's like looking at social media is like, and they'll do new things. It's like people make videos like, did you know you could do this? I'm like, oh no. Am I an old man now? Like, because I don't understand this stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the oldest person in the world. So.
But like we said, you can follow us on TikTok. We have an Instagram. We gotta make posts on Instagram. I'll start doing that. Just figuring out the route to go with that. Just because Instagram kind of died, you know what I mean? Especially since Facebook bought it.
Yeah.
If you didn't already make it, you didn't make it.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Yeah, it's tough out here for content creators, man.
It seriously is. Unless you have the goods, it's hard.
Yeah. So keep us in your thoughts. We're the ones that really need it right now.
Yeah, we need this, guys. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So we hope everybody's hanging in out there. It's it's 2020. What the fuck are we gonna do? Yeah. We'll be back sooner than this weird hiatus, I guess. I'll get this one up within the next week.
Yeah, we'll be back faster.
Yeah, we definitely will.
No hibernation.
Yeah, and now that I've said it, I have to do it. So that's like what I try to.
Yeah, same. Now I feel like I have pressure now.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening. We actually really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Until next time.
Take care.